ginseng has long been known as a wonder drug in the East. Even before the Christian era, people in the Orient regarded it as an elixir of life, man. The root of the plant was said to be conducive to longevity as well. The country's oldest pharmacopoeias and books on medicine classified ginseng as a superior medicine, and many Oriental prescriptions include ginseng for its invigorating properties. Since long ago, wild ginseng, or mountain ginseng, grew in the mountains and fields thanks to a favorable climate and the cyclic change of seasons. In Korea, there are people who adopt digging wild ginseng roots as their trade. Before climbing the mountains, they first cleanse their minds and bodies. They usually form a group in odd numbers such as 3, 5, 7 and so on, and they spend 5 to 10 days on the mountains at a time. They choose a leader who has broad experience, and they all adhere to the unwritten rule of obeying their leader. The leader is responsible for all the planning. On the first day in the mountains, they usually stop at a shrine dedicated to the mountain god. They clean the shrine and then build a temporary hut beside it, a place for resting and sleeping. On the evening of the first day on the mountain, they hold a sacrificial rite to the mountain god. The prayer is intended for peace and a good harvest of wild ginseng. After the rite, they go to sleep expecting a revelation from the mountain god. Dreams feed wild ginseng diggers, a saying goes. The diggers believe dreams decide their fortunes. The following morning, they set out with dreams still fresh in their minds. They climb in single file, which is formed by the youngest digger at the head, followed by the leader, the rest of the group, and the deputy leader at the end. It is the job of the leader to analyze their dreams and decide where they should start the search. When they reach the area chosen by the leader, he instructs the men to scatter. After they scatter, they signal to each other by striking trees or rocks with their walking sticks. Mountain ginseng grows in shady spots on sloping hills facing north or northeast. Some plants grow for decades or even 100 years before discovery, but it is said that they look like weeds to the eyes of an impious digger. So the diggers believe that it is not they who find wild ginseng, but that wild ginseng finds the digger who is dedicated and disciplined. a digger discovers a ginseng root, the others gather and celebrate the occasion. In many cases, several more roots are found in the vicinity. The discoverer is entitled to the ownership, according to the digger's ethics. Now digging begins, but they do not use the expression digging. They prefer lifting. When lifting, they take great care not to harm even a single rootlet. By looking at its top, its age is estimated. The older the root, it is believed, the greater its efficacy, and thus older roots fetch higher prices. Koreans believe that mountain ginseng is a product of a heavenly spirit and earthly glutenosity gained in the process of its growth. More than 1,000 years ago, Koreans collected seeds from wild ginseng to cultivate. This is the origin of cultivated ginseng. Today, Korea is known as an ideal land with optimum conditions of climate and soil for the growth of both wild and cultivated ginseng. But optimum conditions are not enough to grow ginseng. Korean farmers combine artificial conditions and traditional farming techniques for ginseng cultivation. So in the course of years of cultivation, Korea has earned the nickname, the King of Ginseng. Ginseng opens its flowers and bears seeds. The seeds are collected towards the end of July from well-ripened pods on plants grown for 4 years. Now the skin is removed from the seeds and seeds are planted. To accelerate sprouting, seeds are mixed with coarse sand at a ratio of 1 to 5. The mixture put into a seed box, which is kept in the shade, watering twice a day in the morning and evening. The seed box is filled in the following manner: gravel at the bottom, coarse sand, fine sand, the mixture of seeds and coarse sand, fine sand and coarse gravel on top. Germinated seeds are transplanted in late autumn. Now the cultivation field is selected. A gentle sloping terrain open to the north or northeast with soft soil and little mud is ideal. During the summer, furrows are made and the ground is covered with grass, which is replaced by seedlings. On the ridges of the seedbed, clean soil free from pests and insects mixed with manure is applied. Use of chemical fertilizer is prohibited in ginseng cultivation. On the flat surface of the ridges, seeds are sown by the use of the sowing measure, which allows sowing at predetermined intervals. A single seed passes through a hole. Between 1,200 and 1,500 seeds are planted in an area of 3.3 square meters. Covered with coarse sand. Now the ridges are covered with straw for wintering. It is the first winter after sowing. Korean growers care for ginseng plants as if they were little babies, from sowing to harvesting. Ginseng cultivation has been a family trade in specific areas in Korea. Examples of families devoting their whole lives to it. These young ginseng plants survive through the winter, growing through winter and spring. In early April, sunshades are built over the ridges as the plants prefer the shade. Months after sowing, young plants are again transplanted. Only healthy plants are removed from the nursery bed, paying special attention to the protection of the roots. Now they are planted on the ridges of the ginseng field. After the transplanting, the ridges are covered with soil. New buds come out after about 10 days. New buds, sunshades are built over the ridges. When the sunshade installation is completed, the edges of the ridges are hardened by pounding. From a fresh bud, a stalk comes out, and when the stalk is divided into two, that means that the plant is in the second year of growth. This is a well-grown plant in the third year. Weeding is done as often as needed. Ginseng growing demands sincerity in addition to experience and skill. This is a cluster of seed pods in the fourth year of growth. According to the variety, the nuts are either red or yellow. Each nut contains 2 seeds. For plants which are not intended for seed collecting, flowers are picked in late spring to aid the growth of the roots. This is a plant in the 5th year of growth. It has 5 stalks. The speed of growth is accelerated as time passes. It is said that ginseng grows when it hears the footsteps of the owner. Ginseng grows most in between the 5th and 6th years. It is about this time that its root becomes similar to the shape of a human figure. In the autumn of the 6th year, when it is fully grown, ginseng is harvested. These These are 6-year-old roots. Before harvesting, the sunshades are removed. Trained farmers perform the raw ginseng. Roots are sorted into 3 grades. In the case of 6-year-old roots, 2 to 3 kilograms are harvested from an area of 3.3 square meters. Korean ginseng is made into either white or red ginseng. White ginseng is made by removing the outer skin and drying roots grown for 4 to 6 years. According to the shape, white bent ginseng and bent ginseng. The Korean government conducts quality inspection on all. The products are classified into either first or second grade, and the products with anti-moisture packing are sold freely on local markets. Red ginseng, product of a government monopoly, is produced from raw 6-year-old roots. The government issues instructions and supervises the growth of ginseng, from the selection of nursery to harvesting, for ginseng intended to be used for red ginseng. Raw ginseng purchased by the government is transported to the government-run Korean ginseng factories, where it is processed into red ginseng and its products. After washing, raw ginseng is steamed for 2 to 3 hours. Steamed roots are dried in the sun. Now the head, the trunk and the leg portion of each root are trimmed. The roots are now classified according to quality, shape and weight. The roots are pressed and packed into a paulownia wood case and then vacuum packed. The third packing is done by putting them into tins. In addition to red and white ginseng, Korea produces such ginseng products as ginseng condensate, drinks, tea, capsules, tablets, wine, nectar and cosmetics. The Korean government vouches for the quality of these products, devoting its effort to the development and production of different products that could appeal to modern men. The true value of Panax ginseng ca mea, the botanical name for Korean ginseng, is being discovered as scientific research and studies are undertaken. Scholars have discovered that saponin, the most important component of Korean ginseng, performs the adaptogen activation action, which normalizes abnormal physiology of men and women. Therefore, the taking of Korean ginseng is being encouraged by some doctors for such cases as poor physical condition, fatigue, low metabolism, hepatic insufficiency, deterioration of stomach function, radiation sickness, and so on. A rat that took ginseng continuously can swim longer than one that did not. saponin also prevents acidification of the human body and multiplication of cancer cells, and it is effective for the prevention and treatment of hard-to-cure diseases such as diabetes and high blood pressure, and of stress of different types. Many Oriental druggists in Korea and other Northeast Asian countries medicines, and they frequently prescribe it as an invigorant. Many Koreans keep Korean ginseng at home to help maintain good health for all the family. They know that it has no side effects, even if it is taken for a long period. It truly is a wonder drug. Including those in the West, as modern science has begun to discover its miraculous efficacy. Korean ginseng as daily food or as a tonic will certainly make significant contributions to human health and welfare around the world.